But our lead this hour from Pittsburgh, PA, Western Pennsylvania, the Yinzers, the terrible towels. And the terrible towel appropriate the way the Steelers have played of late. The stadium formerly known as Heinz Field, the site. Not sure if you were streaming this game. It was not on television. It was streamed. Netflix paid a lot of money. So Andy Reid and the Chiefs leading a bunch of reindeer in for a matchup with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. It was the first NFL broadcast on Netflix. Yeah, there's a doubleheader there. So we checked it out. Now, we watched so you would not have to watch, because why would you want to watch? The game was not all that good unless you're a Chiefs fan, and then you were laughing. It was a laugher for Kansas City as Patrick Mahomes had 320 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, a partridge in a pear tree as the Chiefs lock it up. They lock up the top seed, the number one seed in the AFC playoffs, as they have now had that title for the 4th time in the last 7 seasons. They have been the top team, 29-10, the final, as Pittsburgh exterminated from this game the reigning back-to-back champs, trying to go that 3rd title in a row. 3 championships in a row. They zoomed to an early 13-point lead. Bam, bam, right away. And were never really threatened by the Steelers, who find themselves now at 10-6 with 1 game to go. So let us discuss the question, the better story in the losing locker room. So what the heck is wrong with Mike Tomlin's Pittsburgh Steelers? Yikes. So I've got Emmy, Reynolds Wrap, and Gene Wilder. That's an old actor. We'll combine all of these things together, and we are going to make fries on top of your sandwich, which is what they do in Pittsburgh. They also serve pizza where the ingredients are cold, like the cheese is. It's really disgusting. Anyway, so it's like a Pittsburgh pizza. Look it up. I'm not making that up. All right, so NFL teams at this time of the year, like there's a separation point. We're getting late in the year here. There's a little bit of separation. But the NFL, generally speaking, you stink from the quarterback down. So let's start with that. Russell, no longer Mr. Unlimited. No. Russell Wilson doing Russell Wilson things again. I heard a lot of laughter coming out of Colorado on Christmas from Bronco fans who were pointing and laughing. I remember that Russell Wilson. Oh, yeah, that's the Russell. Now the people of Pittsburgh are getting the full Russell Wilson experience. It took a while, but now he's arrived. Wowzers. He's not good. They don't have a quarterback. They thought they had 2. Remember there were these stories, these nice, wonderful stories being written about how, Fields is great and Wilson's great, and I don't know about that. Now, I will give Mike Tomlin a compliment. Mike Tomlin did a decent job of hiding the many warts and moles that Russell Wilson has. I mean, he did it for a while, right? It seemed like for a while there, Russ looked like he had found a career renaissance. And the makeup has started to wear off there, and now you're seeing all the imperfections pop up, and it's not pretty. Russ, who got off to a good start when he took over midseason, but he has been the Denver Bronco version without a doubt here. And if you don't have the deep passing game, if you're Russell Wilson, he becomes Charlie Checkdown. And man, does that suck to watch. And it's not very effective. And if he doesn't check down, he gets sacked. If he doesn't get rid of the ball, boom, sack time. It was an Emmy award-winning performance. Now, you understand, in football lingo, the Emmy is not what you think it is. Not like the award in Hollywood and all that. In football, they go Emmy, as in letter M, letter E, mental errors. Russell Wilson, lots of mental errors. Now, what is my evidence here? The last 3 weeks, Pittsburgh has gone up in class. They've gone against better opponents. So this is a real judgment ground on where Russell Wilson is against the top-flight NFL competition. And you can put up numbers against suckbag teams, but how do you do against the top teams? So let's check the temperature in the quarterback room there in Pittsburgh. Russ, the last 3 weeks, loss. He has averaged less than 6 yards per pass attempt the last 3 weeks. I don't think that's good. I didn't play in the NFL. His passer rating is 82.2, which is a college radio station on the FM dial. And he has 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 3 fumbles. Who goofed? I've got to know. The jig is up. The jig is up for Russ. And Mike Tomlin in a bit of a quagmire right now because he obviously doesn't trust Justin Fields. Otherwise, Wilson would not have played. Right? If Justin Fields, they were winning games with Justin Fields in Pittsburgh, but yet Tomlin was like, we can do better. Right? We can do better. And they didn't keep Justin Fields as QB1. They pivoted to Russ, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, but now he stinks. He's back to being a stiff. And so you look around, it's more likely than not the Steelers will not have either one of these guys next season as QB1 there, that they'll be back out kissing a bunch of frogs, trying to find a quarterback that can play. Now, turning the page here. Part B of this, is it now time, based on what we witnessed as Pittsburgh was run off the field by the Chiefs on Christmas, is it time to downgrade the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of them being a Super Bowl contender? All right, so I'm nodding my head. I'm nodding my head yes on this. You do have to downgrade the Steelers. Not that I ever had them near the very top. Maybe you did. I know we've taken calls from people that are drinking the black and yellow, and I don't recommend drinking the yellow. Doc Mike likes that, but it appears the Steelers peaked too soon. They peaked too soon is what happened here. Now, the Steelers, who the name defies the way they play. You think steel, you think tough, you think rugged, steel. Really, this team is like a Reynolds wrap team. They're aluminum foil, which is the antithesis of steel. The Yinzers have faced better opponents, as we mentioned here a few minutes ago. They've faced better opponents of late, and they have been shredded. They have been shredded. How bad has it been? Don't ask, but I'll answer anyway. So the Steelers have now lost not 1, not 2, but 3 straight games by double digits. They lost to their Pennsylvania rival, the Eagles, by 14 points, 2 touchdowns. They played the Ravens, another regional rivalry, right? Pittsburgh and Baltimore pretty close to each other, and they supposedly hate each other. And the Steelers had always done well against the Ravens in the Lamar Jackson era, but not this time. They lose by 17, and now they play the reigning back-to-back champion of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, and lose by 19 points. It's getting worse. It's not getting better. And that sounds like it's bad. How bad is it? Last time this happened was 1988. That was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers had 3 straight double-digit losses the way they have right now. It's only the second time since the merger, which goes back over 50 years. And not only do we goof and lampoon Russell Wilson for substandard quarterback play, but in addition, what happened to that defense? Right? That Mr. Watt, lacking wattage. TJ Watt and the Pittsburgh Steelers defense here. The Steelers have now, against better opponents, allowed an average the last 3 games of 30 points per game. This is supposed to be a team that's built around defense. They've allowed 30 points per game on average the last 3 weeks against better opponents, and that is not going to get her done. All right, last word here. So with Kansas City wrapping up the number one seed in the AFC and getting it done in a blowout, there is a new conspiracy theory. Oh, yeah. You think, well, why are you working on Christmas into the day after Christmas? Well, the reason I'm working, good conspiracy theory. That's right. That's a good conspiracy theory. So this regards Patrick Mahomes. Now, you might have heard something about this, maybe not, but a couple weeks ago, in fact, it was, I think, 11 days ago, Patrick Mahomes suffered an ankle injury against the team from Cleveland, the Brownies, right? So he hurt his ankle. Oh, my ankle! A lot of pain. So the team announced shortly after that, Mahomes down for the count, high ankle sprain. Remember, the point spread shifted immediately. The gambling market freaked out that Carson Wentz was going to take over. Mahomes had made some comments. The team from Kansas City about to embark on a 3-game, 11-day journey. 3 games in 11 days, which is close to unprecedented in the NFL, but that was what was on the card for Kansas City. So, and then you got Mahomes dealing with a high ankle injury, and you're looking at Carson Wentz taking over. Everyone in Buffalo, the Bills Mafia is all horny. They're all excited because they're going to pass Kansas City by. They'll be the number 1 seed. Everyone's all excited. There were a lot of pundits, football purveyors, that said, hey, wait a minute. Mahomes going to miss some time. Right? 3 games, 11 days. Mahomes going to miss some time. Got a high ankle sprain. It's a problem. Not only has Mahomes played through the high ankle sprain, the injury, he has actually looked better now than at any other point this season. Explain that to me, Batman. Yes, Mahomes has been playing at a higher level since he supposedly went snap, crackle, pop to the ankle. So NFL fans, many online investigators have determined that Patrick Mahomes faked his ankle injury. So I ask the esteemed panel, did Patrick Mahomes fake the ankle injury? So I don't know that I'll use the word fake. I will use embellish. I will use the word showmanship, that those are words that this is old school. It's like the Michael Jordan flu game, the legend of Mahomes, the legend of athletes, is when you are supposedly down for the count, you overcome the odds. But there's no way on God's green earth that Mahomes had a legitimately grade 2 high ankle sprain. There's no chance. There's no chance that he just did what he did if he had that injury. Now, he had some other injury. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't that. And so Mahomes coming out in this last couple of games, like a modern-day Gene Wilder. It's an old actor. Look him up. He's dead. But that iconic role from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which we, of course, have given out many a golden ticket from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But Gene Wilder was Willy Wonka in the movie. If you saw it, I mean, most of us, I don't know, maybe not anymore, but when I was a kid, we were forced to watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's pretty dated these days, but imagine, if you will, on that cartoon bubble over your head, Mahomes comes out, and he's carrying a cane, and he's walking towards the crowd, and he's got a little bit of a limp, right? A little bit of a limp there because he's got a high ankle sprain. And the crowd sees that Mahomes is dinged up, and they're like, oh, man, they're whispering among themselves, what's going on here? And everyone's quiet. Mahomes, the hero of the NFL, is hurt. And as he's walking towards the crowd there, his cane sinks into for some reason there was a cobblestone out on the field there, and it sinks into the cobblestone. And he was walking, and he stands like straight up there, and then he ends up falling forward and does a somersault, and then realizes, wait a minute, my ankle's perfectly fine. Yeah. And so the crowd goes wild. But from now on, and this happened the same thing. I remember a couple years ago in the playoffs, this happened with Mahomes, where they said he had a high ankle injury, and then he played fine, and Kansas City won a Super Bowl. And so now you'll never really know, is Mahomes lying or is he telling the truth? Well, we do know that while many have had issues with Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mahomes is not one of them. Mahomes is now 4-0 against the Steelers with 17 touchdowns and just 1 interception in his career.